going to Mars? That's incredible!
This futuristic concept is actually in line with the current ongoing research and development in technology.
From politics to technology, the longest-running series in TV history has a thing for predicting the future.
Oh, what a bleak, horrible future we live in!
It's almost like Springfield has a crystal ball or something.
This virtual fudge tastes like crap.
Not half as good as cyber fudge.
So get ready for today's video as I'm about to reveal the craziest Simpsons predictions that came true in 2024 and more. Number 1. Trump's 2024 presidential run. Let's go back in time, folks. The year is 2015. A Simpsons episode titled Bart to the Future has just aired on television, and it shows Homer floating past a really interesting sign. It read, Trump 2024. Hinting at the billionaire's possible future plans of running for president. And of course, almost everyone back then thought it was nothing but satire. Fast forward to 2024, and Trump is in fact running for president, and that too for the second time. Coincidence? Number 2. AI takeover. Have you noticed how humans started to become more and more paranoid about a robot taking over their job? Well, it's possible their fears may actually come true, considering how The Simpsons predicted this back in season 23. Homer unfortunately got laid off from his job in episode 17, as Mr. Burns decided to replace all the human workers with robots.
You guys have any luck finding a new job?
Does it look like I've got a job?
And when you look at how some of the biggest companies in the world are opening up to the use of AI robots, this prediction has somewhat come true. Number 3. Trip to Mars. I'm not sure if you've heard about this yet, but Elon Musk is actually looking for ambitious volunteers to take a trip to Mars. It's just a little part of his long-term plan to eventually colonize Mars and make humans a multi-planet race. And guess what?
We're preparing to launch the first privately funded manned mission to Mars.
You're going to Mars? That's incredible!
In season 27, episode 6, Lisa learns that the government, just like Musk, is looking for volunteers to take a trip to Mars. That doesn't exactly mean 2024 will be the year humans leave for Mars, but that's not what the episode showed either. Lisa and Marge actually got ready for the trip in the year 2051, and considering how Musk talks about this grand voyage happening in the next 10-15 years, it's possible even that timeline might end up matching. Number 4. Virtual treats. If someone told me that I could taste food using modern technology, I'd never believe them. And even though we can see Homer and Marge eating what appears to be virtual fudge using a high-tech headset with a straw,
Blech. This virtual fudge tastes like crap.
I still have my doubts whether something like this is even possible. But guess what? The Simpsons got this one right as well. Aero Banquets RMX is a tech company that's actively been trying to make virtual food a real experience. It's expected that they will be able to offer a wide variety of virtual food experiences by the end of this year. Number 5. Baby Translator. Let's journey back to 1993 as we look at the final episode of Season 3 titled, Brother, Can You Spare 2 Dimes? Homer's half-brother invents this crazy device that can translate what babies are saying.
Well, here it is again. My baby translator.
Ooh.
I'm going to be real with you. I think the possibility of us colonizing Mars is greater than someone out there inventing a device that can translate what babies are saying. But at this point, I think I should take a back seat since The Simpsons have a history of getting things right. And boy, did they get it right. Zoundream is a futuristic company that has just launched a device that can literally translate babies using artificial technology. How does one even predict something like this? Simpsons can, apparently. Number 6. Female leadership. And unless you are already living on Mars, you already know what Joe Biden dropping out of the presidential race means. Kamala Harris has officially stepped up to fight the Republicans as the new presidential candidate.
Excellent question. Yes, I am proud to be America's first straight female president.
And while we've definitely had female candidates in the past, the US is yet to see its first female president. In the episode Back to the Future, Lisa becomes the first female president of the country, and the resemblance is just uncanny. Everything from the hairstyle to the jewelry to even the dress is all identical. Who knows, maybe The Simpsons will get this prediction right too. Number 7. Black hole swallows Springfield. This episode was insane. It aired back in 2013 and shows Lisa accidentally creating a black hole that gets bigger every time it swallows something. She hides it in her basement to prevent it from getting any bigger, but when Homer finds out, we all have an idea how this is going to end.
Scientists believe that what enters a black hole never comes out, but some think they may be a gateway to other universes.
It gets bigger and bigger as Homer continues to feed it garbage, and eventually turns it into a garbage removal business with the whole of Springfield waiting for their turn. It then takes one baseball to make it so big that it starts swallowing the entire city until Maggie's pacifier jams it, causing it to shrink down again. Well, I hope this never happens because astronomers have actually discovered a supermassive black hole in our very own galaxy. It's so huge that, forget Springfield, it could gobble up our entire galaxy in a matter of seconds. Number 8. Hovering cars. Even if it weren't for The Simpsons, I think all of us imagined hovering cars as the future of transportation. And in episode 15 of season 16, we see both Homer and Bart cruising in style as they appear to be in a hovering car.
This futuristic concept is actually in line with the current ongoing research and development in technology.
It's 2024 now, and it's a bummer that we still don't have hovering cars. Unless it's not mainstream, but Samson Sky, a company based in Oregon, is expected to start rolling out their version of the hovering car this year. They've been developing this car for an astonishing 14 years now, and 2024 will be the year it finally hits the road, or hovers the road. I'm not sure. Number 9. Technology of the future. Let's get one thing straight here. Holograms aren't exactly something new, and The Simpsons isn't the only show out there that's shown them. Like take Star Wars, for example. We've seen a lot of hologram technology being used in that show, but nevertheless, the fact that The Simpsons did it right before the release of this tech is crazy. It was first shown in season 34, and shortly after in this year, a company by the name of DreamWalk HD 3 came up with a crazy device that lets you chat with holograms. Yup! It creates a 3-sided holographic display for anyone in any corner of the world. Number 10. The infamous FIFA Scandal. Who would have known that The Simpsons would end up predicting the winner of the FIFA World Cup? This is from an episode aired back in 2014 that shows Homer becoming an official referee as FIFA struggles to overcome a referee shortage after a huge corruption scandal. Just a year later, FIFA was actually raided by authorities on accusations of fraud, money laundering, and bribery. Just a year later? That's incredibly accurate. Maybe it was an inside secret leaked to The Simpsons writers to get people talking? But apart from that, they also predicted that Germany would win the World Cup 1-0. And it turns out they actually did win it 1-0 after defeating Argentina. Number 11. World War III. Have you noticed how global ties have worsened over the span of a couple of years? Think about it. Along with the issue in Europe, there's the Ukraine-Russia war, the Israeli-Palestinian war, the Colombian conflict, the Somali civil war, and the Mexican drug war. With so much going on, maybe The Simpsons are right about World War III. There's not a lot of material in the episode apart from Homer waking everyone up and telling them to go hide in the bunker.
Wake up, everybody! It's World War III! Quick, down to the fallout shelter. The bombs are dropping!
As much as I hate to admit this, we're kind of getting to the tipping point considering how so many global powers have started to lock horns. Number 12. Trump's arrest and Barbie. It's about to get weird now, folks. Remember when Trump got arrested on the same day the Barbie movie premiered? Well, it turns out that The Simpsons predicted this as well. And that too in the same exact order. And at some point, you start to believe that these things cannot be a coincidence.
Good night. Oh, and the president was arrested.
I mean, what are the odds? Plus, what's ironic is, the episode aired back in 1994. How can a TV show even predict something 30 years before it even happens? Oh, and here's something even more interesting. A lot of people complained how media outlets were more focused on reporting the Barbie movie instead of Trump's arrest. What's strange about that is, at the very end of the episode, the news reporter questions himself on why he's been talking about the Barbie movie for 28 minutes straight now. And just before the episode ends, he casually mentions how the president has been arrested. Number 13. Apple Vision Pro. Simpsons fans probably remember this episode. It was called Friends and Family, and it showed everyone in Springfield wearing goggles scarily similar to the Apple Vision Pro. And what's funny is, everyone had lost the concept of space and was walking into light poles and even falling into manholes. It doesn't exactly mean the Vision Pro isn't an extraordinary piece of technology, though. It just means the Simpsons were able to predict the invention of such a device in the future and how a lot of people would walk into things while wearing it in public. After people realized the similarities, they once again went after the writers, asking them to explain how they predict the future. The writers simply replied by saying everything that ends up happening is purely coincidental. Number 14. FaceTime and smartwatches. Have you used FaceTime lately? Well, what if I told you The Simpsons had predicted this feature back in 1995, when people probably didn't even imagine such a concept? It shows Lisa and Marge talking via video call on a rotary phone, and while that's definitely not the case now, at least they got something right. But yeah, a prediction like this can be a coincidence, but what I find strange about this is how they even come up with these technologies in the first place. It's like there's a secret world order only the writers know about, or perhaps the TV show is a timeline of our universe. In the same episode, we even see a character talk to his watch, hinting at perhaps an Apple Watch. In a way, it's possible The Simpsons foresaw 2 Apple products in just one episode. Number 15. The Shard. Blink and you'll miss it. Episode 19 of Season 6 aired back in 1995, where it shows Lisa's future as she travels to London and meets a fellow university student named Hugh Parkfield. It's a funny episode as usual, but during a scene showing the Tower Bridge, we see a pointy building behind it, which looks awfully familiar to the Shard. London locals know the Shard as a popular site, but the only strange thing here is that it was built in 2009. Do you get it now? The episode aired in 1995, while the Shard was built in 2009. Is this show starting to predict buildings as well now? Or did the builders just take inspiration from The Simpsons? What do you think? Number 16. The Library Robot. This is the second prediction from episode 19 of Season 6. Now, it's kind of funny how the show is making accurate predictions while the episode is literally a prediction about Lisa's future.
First they hate each other, now all of a sudden they love each other. Oh, it doesn't make any sense to me.
Anyway, a fortune teller showed Lisa how she'd fall in love and marry an English man after meeting him at a library. And while we're being shown Lisa's future, the librarian there is a bit skeptical. Turns out it was just because she was just not human and instead a robot. Fast forward to 2024, a Aberystwyth University student has done the same after building his own library robot that can even follow people around and assist them. You just need to put on a dress on the robot, and we've got another prediction fulfilled. Number 17. Got reference or prediction? I'm sure almost everyone has seen this scene. It gained a lot of popularity when it first aired, and I can't seem to figure out whether it was a reference or a prediction. It was an episode that parodied Westeros and showed a dragon burning down the Simpsons village after Homer revived it. Anyway, do you remember the Jot episode when Drogon literally burned down King's Landing? Have the Simpsons started predicting TV shows too now? Number 18. Autocorrect. Remember the school bullies and their beef with Martin? Even though it was a hilarious element of the show, I know deep down, we all always felt sad for him. But while attempting to rally up the school bullies and go beat up Martin, it's possible the Simpsons may have predicted autocorrect as well. We see Nelson using a Newton phone texting his friends to beat up Martin. The text is then scrambled and changed into eat up Martha.
Hey, Dolph, take a memo on your Newton. Beat up Martin. Bah!
I think we've all experienced the frustration of autocorrect, and this particular scene was sort of the same, in one way or another. The best part of the joke is that he still manages to hit Martin. Number 19. Tesla's Cybertruck. If Tesla's Cybertruck wasn't a meme on its own, the Simpsons have added their own sprinkle to it by showing their own version of the truck in episode 15 of Season 2. It was aired back in 1991, and while the design is nothing like Elon's truck, viewers still think there are a lot of similarities. A crappy design, an egocentric creation, and major electrical errors sound familiar? It's almost like the Simpsons saw it coming and decided to give us a sneak peek decades in advance. Number 20. A Submersible Emergency. Remember Titan? A modern submersible believed to be advanced enough to take humans to uncharted depths of the ocean? Well, while it's not a precise prediction, there's still a reference to it in episode 10, Homer's paternity coot of season 17. Just like the Titan, Homer and his long-lost father are also venturing in the depths of the ocean in submersibles to find an old ship.
I'm filled with joy, searching for treasure with my long-lost son.
And just last June, the world was blown away by the tragic news of the implosion incident, which also had a father-son duo on board. Coincidence or the future in plain sight? I'll let you be the judge. Number 21. Disney's acquisition. In 1998's episode, When You Dish Upon a Star, Homer makes a call to 20th Century Fox to suggest an idea. There's a scene that then shows how 20th Century Fox is owned by Walt Disney, and fast forward 21 years. Disney actually acquires 20th Century Fox for a whopping $71.3 billion. Number 22. The Horse Meat Scandal. We all know The Simpsons is meant to be satire, and that gives them the liberty to get away with some things. Showing a drum labeled assorted horse parts being served to kids at Springfield Elementary is one of those things. But this scene soon became reality after a major scandal broke out in the UK. It was dubbed as the Horse Meat Scandal after food authorities found 100% presence of horse meat in some beef products. What's even worse is that these beef products were sold at some of the biggest supermarket chains across the country. At this point, with the rate at which these predictions are coming true, we might as well start a Simpsons future bingo game. Who knows which outlandish prediction will come true next? Number 23. Space travel for commoners. I think every single human on this planet dreams of going to space, but unfortunately, even with years of training, some astronauts never get to experience it. On the other hand, The Simpsons gave average Joes like me the chance to actually live out my imagination in episode 15 of Season 5. To boost its rating, NASA decides to send an average Joe to space and they select Homer as the first ordinary human to venture into the unknown. But who would have known commoners could one day travel to space? Just recently, SpaceX sent the world's first all-civilian mission to space. The sad part is, you still, however, need to have millions of dollars to go through with it, though. Number 24, the Osaka Flu. The Simpsons were way ahead in their predictions when this episode first aired back in 1993. Apparently, there's a mysterious virus on board a shipment coming from Japan. It soon starts to spread and takes over the entire city, with everyone falling sick. Residents rush to doctors who advise them to go home and rest, as there is no immediate treatment available. By now, I'm pretty sure you have an idea what this episode was hinting at. COVID-19, folks. The similarities are wild. Just like the Osaka Flu, COVID had no immediate treatments, and all we were told by the doctor was to stay at home and rest. Believe it or not, this prediction gained so much attention that the co-writer of the episode eventually had to issue a statement claiming all events were inspired by the Hong Kong flu in 1968. Number 25, the Tiger Attack. Here's some context that'll help you understand this episode. While some of you might already know about the Siegfried and Roy Tiger Attack, here's a quick recap of the original story. Siegfried and Roy were both magicians and entertainers who performed in European clubs, cinemas, and cruises, and were particularly famous for their use of lions and white tigers. In 2003, one of their acts went terribly wrong after a white tiger attacked Roy. Let's quickly jump back to The Simpsons Season 5 now. In Episode 5, Mr. Burns wanted to bring the gambling culture to Springfield, and in the hopes to attract a huge crowd, a show headlined by Gunter and Ernst was organized at a local casino. During their performance, a white tiger turns on them and mauls them. You might be wondering, though, what's so special about all this? Well, this episode aired in 1993, while the actual event happened 10 years later in 2003. Number 26, the God Particle. This has to be the most shocking prediction yet. In an episode from Season 10, Homer wishes to join the ranks of famous inventors like Thomas Edison by coming up with something original of his own. Little did we know, he actually did discover something. What seemed like nonsensical writing on the chalkboard back then was actually a complex mathematical equation. While it wasn't precise, if you worked out the equation Homer wrote on the chalkboard, you'd get an answer super close to the mass of the Higgs boson particle. This equation was jotted 14 years before the actual discovery. Is it just me? Or does someone else also think the writers of this show are from some advanced civilization? Number 27. Let's block out the sun. Remember when Springfield discovered oil and Mr. Burns started drilling like a madman, then decided to block out the sun with a giant disk to force everyone to use his power plant? Classic Burns, right? Well, thankfully, we don't have a crazy billionaire planning to block out the sun for profit. But we do have a billionaire who wants to block the sun with a giant shield to combat global warming. I think this is perhaps the first prediction we can actually get behind, considering how the effects of global warming are starting to become so severe now. Number 28. All You Can Eat gone wrong. Homer's dream came true when Springfield finally got its first all-you-can-eat restaurant. He goes in there and absolutely destroys it, finishing most of their items in a matter of hours. And the management eventually has to kick him out because at the rate he's eating, he'll probably make them go bankrupt. Anyway, Homer is so devastated that he decides to take them to court for false advertising.
For the gentleman.
All you can eat! All you can eat!
All right, when you're ready, take this plate over.
Please, don't take the steam tray!
Let's switch back to the real world when a similar incident occurred. a man who was kicked out of an all-you-can-eat restaurant sued the Golden Corral Corporation for $2 million. Get ready for the most shocking bit now. This man was also from Springfield. It's a small town in Massachusetts, and guess what? He actually won the case too. Number 29. Lisa Goes Gaga. An episode aired back in 2012 predicted that Lady Gaga would one day perform at the Super Bowl. Rewinding back to 2017, we have Lady Gaga performing at the Super Bowl halftime show. But that's not all. The episode even got some aspects of her performance right, like how she comes flying out, suspended by cords. Imagine how this prediction must feel if you're Lady Gaga. The Simpsons literally knew she'd perform at the Super Bowl even before she did. Or maybe the choreographers of this performance took some inspiration. After all, anything is possible. Number 30, 9/11. I swear, this scene from The Simpsons just adds to all the existing controversy around 9/11. It shows Lisa holding up a magazine with two tall buildings looking exactly like the Twin Towers, also resembling an 11. Then there's a huge 9 as well, which, to be honest, is probably just the price of the magazine, but doesn't all seem a little too worked out.
$9? This one's on me.
Great! We're all going to New York.
All right, New York. I'm coming back.
I mean, the positioning and everything is a bit too good, and even at first glance, 9/11 is the first thing that comes to mind. Is time travel a thing? Because there's no way these writers are making such bold predictions. Anyway, that's it for today's video, folks. So what do you think? Which prediction blew you away the most? And are there any other spooky predictions I've missed? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more interesting content in the future.